Well, this day really didn't go the way it was supposed to. I just got back down to the valley. By the time I'm done, which it will be dark, I'm gonna have probably right around 50 acres done. And that really wasn't my original plan, but we got a bunch of rain, and as of right now, the bottom I can actually cut, but it's the entryway to get out to the bottom. There's two different ways to get out there, and they're both soft, and I'm not going to run the risk of tearing up the field or getting something stuck just to try to make some hay. The stuff I'm cutting right now, or in the field that I'm cutting right now, is actually proven to be a lot heavier than I really gave it credit for. And yeah, I know this is right side up. It's hilly. You have to have your nerves about you to do some of this stuff, but I've actually cut this about a half dozen times now, and I know what the 76 can handle. That's a lot of it when you're doing some of this ground. Knowing what your machinery can actually do, and not just forcing your equipment to get destroyed to do something that it's just not meant to do. The front wheel assist is what really makes this tractor. So I just got back. I didn't get started as early as I wanted, even though I had this tractor fueled up, and even I had it down at my place even, ready to go. And I actually had to drive all the way back to the farm twice. One, because I had somebody show up, and secondly, because I thought of it, but I didn't do it. But I ran out of fuel. It became pretty clear that I wasn't going to have enough to finish this. And the last thing I want to do is get caught down here with pretty well no help around and run out of fuel. Because it's one of those days where I'm pretty much completely on my own. Even a phone call really isn't going to do me much good. Dad's working, and I don't even know where Ryan's at. So what I should have done, what I started to say, is I should have loaded up our portable fuel tank on that bumper hitch trailer of my dad's, strapped it down, filled it up, which can be frowned upon in some way, but at least that way I could have brought the trailer down, unhooked it, and I would have had another fuel tank that at least would have allowed me to get done. So now I'm not going to be getting done after dark. Really didn't start this day out with the intent. I never start the day out to actually with the intention of working after dark, but little things keep adding up. I actually got stopped 5 times today. The 5th time being having to go back, clear back to the farm to fill up. But it just, I guess I can't really help it. So yeah, thanks to everybody that understands what this channel is. This is not a cherry pick channel. This is me sitting and talking. There is going to be some action videos coming up. For those of you that watch this channel long enough and understand that I don't cherry pick. I don't just pick the fun stuff and just post the fun videos. This is a farm. I think that's what some people tend to forget when they're watching online, is there's a lot more that goes into the farm than sitting in a tractor all day and driving circles in the field. I literally spent over 2 weeks trying to get ready to be sitting here right now. And then this is giving me problems. So all that preparation really didn't do me a hell of a whole lot of good. It did and it didn't. The belt was bad, yada, yada, yada. But I don't know if it's just the material or if it's an adjustment on those deflectors I put in, but I'm getting buildup on the right side of the machine and it bogs me down. I lose power, but I'm noticing that it only really does it in certain material. But I'm gonna definitely try to adjust it. I blew a seal out of one of That's another thing that slows me down too, is this ground is uneven. So I'm doing a lot of, yeah, what did I do there? Yeah, see? Plugged it. I'm trying to say it's cutting. It's not that I plugged it, it's just, it's building up on that far side. And the blades were sharp when it was doing it earlier. It's the end of the day, and let's face it, I'm not going to get out and change all the blades now. But they will all be changed before we go to cut again. No, that's just the product me picking it up too much. Oh, alright. Thought that was worse than what it was. But Herschel, Myrna, I know you guys are watching. I know. I haven't called you yet. Going on 2 months since I should have responded to you or called you up, but I think you're pretty understanding in the fact that I'm trying to wait for a chance where I can actually I have a chance to actually sit and talk to you. I don't want to have to cut our conversation down to just 10 minutes. That's just rude of me. But it's rude enough that I've waited this long to get back to you, but it's literally one thing after the other right now, between working on everything in the shed, trying to make hay, and then knowing that I got to get ready for side dressing here, cultivating sooner than later. This is the most, if not the first time, I've cut in May, or cut hay in May. Calvin doesn't like the hills. I don't blame him. I don't think I've ever cut in May before. If I have, it wasn't very much. It definitely wasn't as much as I'm cutting today. So it should be right around 50 acres. Of first cut alone, I'm gonna have somewhere between 100 and 150 acres. If everything that I have projected is realized. That doesn't include everything for Dad and Ryan. I'm thinking we are probably looking around that 200 to 250 acre area for first cut. Just because it's cut once does not mean it's going to see a second or third cut. There's actually some that I was planning for a third cut that if it gets to a certain date where I don't get first crop or second crop cut, it's not going to justify going through and cutting it for third crop, which is not what I want. I'm planning on pushing this for 3 cuttings. That's why I'm out here May 31st. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. That's the problem down here. I don't have signal reception either, so it is dangerous. Could be dangerous if I get in trouble. I'm all right closer to the bank, but when I'm up against the hill here, I don't. I'm at 3G with 1 bar. I do run US Cellular. But I am just sitting and talking. In the tractor working. I enjoy cutting hay. This is my favorite summer job. It really is. I stress myself out more than I should. But believe it or not, the hay is actually, I'm planning on taking over my monthly bills. And that frees up the other cash flow for maybe some purchases, maybe. But I got to pay off some of my upfront costs for running this down here, and that actually is that sprayer and that New Holland rake. That was a little over it's about $7,500 for everything I put into them that I spent to run this hay ground. I'm actually 150 acres plus everything Dad and Ryan's got. If we can cut everything that I have projected, it's probably 250 to, if I actually sat down and penciled it all out and added it up, I mean, all the little pieces do add up. I got one farm has 7 acres of just waterways. And for those of you that have been around contours know that some of the waterways be kind of a hassle to try to cut, ted, rake, and bale. But it's a very real possibility we could have upwards of 250 to 300 acres of first cut. And I really would like to at least get a second cut. So I'm really banking on the weather here. Depends on who you talk to, because 2 of the people that stopped me today said that they're calling for rain tomorrow. Next 3 days, which I checked the forecast yesterday morning, last night, and this morning, and they actually pushed the rain back for 6 days and added a bunch of 80 and 90 degree weather days. So my plan is to get this cut today, ted it out tomorrow. It'll be 80s tomorrow, and then it'll be all tedded out nice and flat for the 90 degree days with sunshine. I'm really banking on that, really drying this out and making it for dry hay. That's where the market's at. Wrapped hay, anything. It's not worth the fuel of making it if you're gonna make wrapped anything in this area. The name of the game is to get dry hay made, and ideally sell it at the right time of year, but that's a losing game. You never really win at that game, not consistently. So the plan is to really just average it out. And my plan would be to wait a couple months. I don't want to have to start selling this stuff in the peak of hay making season, but September 1st, potentially August 1st, maybe start selling a load a week, depending on how much material I have. I'm aiming for about 400 tons at the bare minimum. That's after I take off the feed I need for my cows, and I'm looking like I'm gonna need right around 130 to 150 bales to feed my cows for 365 days. Checking, 1, 2, 3. That might be high. I hope it's high and not too low. But the cows are actually doing really good in the pasture right now. I'm still giving them corn fodder. We actually dumped one of them in a corn fodder bale in the feeder the other day, and they actually went through and ate about 2/3 of it, which Dad and I were pretty surprised. But I have enough hay from last year yet. Granted, it's not beautiful, but they're still getting something from it, and they're still getting that free choice pasture grass. They're still getting green stuff. But I have enough hay currently to last me until July 22nd at the current feed rate. So if I can hold off as long as I can to feed out some of the new material, I will. And I do want to kind of move some of those cows around between the pastures here before long. This is going to be a long video. I just feel like talking, so anybody that's still there, hi. So, what's been going on here lately? Stress? A little bit. The crops are out of the ground. The corn could look better than what it does. Personally, I don't like how the corn looks from what we hit with the 630 disc. We're spoiled with that VT. It does a better job, makes a better seed bed. The ground, when it was hit twice with that 630, was still clumpy. Had poor emergence, and pretty much left me unsatisfied as far as how the ground looks. Which we had less than 100 acres that had to be finished with it. So I'm glad we got the VT up and running again. The action video is going to be tomorrow night. I got about 15 minutes that I'll be cutting up and making into an action voiceover video for those of you that are waiting for the action shots. It's just taking the time to do it. Even as far as when I was planting and doing field work earlier, it just quickly gets to the point where yeah, it's nice. You guys want to see the tractors running and everything else. I'm focusing on my livelihood, and that's getting this stuff in the ground and knocked over as efficiently as I can. And I'm not being that efficient today, and it's kind of getting underneath my skin. Because I should be home playing with Relina right now. And yes, okay, let me address that. Anybody that would say, just quit, call it a night, to hell with it, cut it tomorrow. Well, the weather in southwest Wisconsin is very unpredictable, and I have a schedule that I need this stuff cut, tedded, raked, baled, and off the field. And all it takes is being pushed back or breakdown, and I'll be baling this stuff a day after it rained. Or it will be raining the day I planned on making this stuff. So there is a reason why, even though you have a family and you got to stay at home and you want to spend time with them, which I do want to see my wife and kid, I got to spend time out here actually making a living. I don't know, some people can get a bad rep because they work too much and you don't see their family enough, but you're also trying to provide for your family. I don't know, I think I'm probably just tired. Probably complaining and being an ass more than what I really intend to be. So I get a really bad reputation online. Because people tend to complain that I'm a jerk and I'm not very nice, and you know what, maybe that's just what I want people to believe. Is I can actually sit and talk, and I get, out of everybody around here, I'm actually the one that will sit and talk to strangers and talk too much to complete strangers, just saying hi and just picking their brain, asking what they do, their experiences, whatever else. But you guys don't really get to see that in a 10-15 minute clip out of my day. So yeah, and everybody notices it because of this whole everything going on. I don't like addressing it just because everybody else seems to. And it gets old. But because of everything that's been going on since March, January, doing this has really taken it on the chin. I don't know if people just aren't interested in watching anymore. Granted, I'm still getting a fair amount of views. Yes, I am. But I can literally see it to the day on all my numbers when we got declared pandemic. I was actually getting a fair amount of views. I was getting an awful lot of comments and viewer support, which I don't really need viewer support. It is nice hearing that people don't want me to leave and they enjoy what I post, which is important, because after a while when you're just getting the same old ho hum hi whatever, but it's nice actually knowing that people do appreciate me taking the time to do this, which I know you do, at least the people that are still watching. So the plans for this that we're doing is, I was going to ted it twice. With the current forecast for how hot, abnormally hot it's going to be this week, it's just going to get tedded once. I'm windrowing it right now, which putting it up narrow is because the ground is soft, borderline muddy in some areas, and I want the sun to bake it, get that moisture out of it the best it can where it's exposed. Then I come back through and ted it, get it spread out real thin, let the sun and the heat and hopefully a little bit of a breeze do its job, dry it out, and bale it, rake it, bale it. I am going to be putting hay preservative on it, even at a low rate. I've said that 1,000 times. I'm going to say it probably 10,000 times more, because I do get new people watching that have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So I'm trying to keep everybody up to date, which is impossible. So for my longtime awesome viewers that are probably getting tired of the repetitiveness, I apologize. What this field really needs though is a roller. That is something that Wisconsin agronomist tells me regularly that I need to be doing, is getting a roller and rolling our hay ground, rolling our new seeding. This stuff is fairly rough. A roller would be nice. If I could cash flow it, I would. But at the moment, I got 2 other pieces of equipment I gotta pay for. Auction time is very dangerous. I was just talking to a guy earlier about auction time. He says he uses it. And auction time is very dangerous because you buy things or you find things on there that you never knew you needed, that you end up thinking you need, and you end up spending money. That sprayer is one of them. The rake, I was actively looking for a rake, but that sprayer, that was a impulse / luxury / you know what, I think I can make that work purchase. That's exactly what it is. I have it running to a certain degree. The pump will have to be replaced. The casting is cracked on it. I'm hoping I can get through this year with it because that's another $1,000 to replace that. Whew, I need a drink. And I gotta turn my lights on before long. You guys probably can't really see me. I know this video is gonna be unnecessarily long, but you know what? What the hell? And for those of you that are still watching, you're probably gonna get some more uncensored, almost borderline live stream Travis. Oh, why haven't I done a live stream in a while? We tried. I did a live stream a couple weeks ago, but I tried, but I wasn't able to do it because by the time I get around to doing supper and getting Brittany and Merlina around, it's like 9:30, and who's gonna watch it at 9 o'clock at night? So I plan on doing it again. Merlina is turning into a little cookie monster. Not literally, and she's not like literally a monster, but she talks. Oh my gosh, does she talk? I mean, she can't say words yet, but like my sister said today, like she coos and baby gibberish. But like my sister said, it's all cute and everything, but wait until she gets older and realize that she's calling you a big jerk, all that stuff. It's like, that's a good point, but I sincerely hope not, because I do like the little devil. And when they get older and you start having to be more of a parent to them and not just a caretaker. So, but she does really good. I like my time I get to sit and hold her at night, and I think I surprised Brittany the other night because I don't know if I've really said it too much, for those of you that are eagle-eyed watchers, I've been having a hard time with Merlina because I can't get her to drink a bottle when I hold her anymore. She's already getting some of that teenage attitude maybe. But I finally, the other night, got her where she would drink a bottle, and she was just tired enough where she fell asleep on me. I was sitting in my recliner, and Brittany went to bed, and I liked it that much, so much that I was able to sit and, a baby's sleeping in your arms and it's your own kid. I mean, there's that attachment level there. It was really nice just to, I actually stayed up till about 1 a.m. with her. She fell asleep at 9:30. I stayed up till 1 with her because I didn't want to wake her up or I didn't want to take her to bed. I just sat and watched TV and held her in my arms, which I am taking notes from literally everybody. She's not going to stay this big for long. So I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I'm allowed to, which I'm dad, and I don't really get to see her that much, especially now I'm getting as busy as I am, which I've been busy since April 1st, when I was already starting to do the all-nighters and working later, and yeah, let's try the lights. these things. Did LEDs. It's like daylight. Same thing with the skid steer. We need to go through. We're slowly going through and putting LEDs and everything, but